So Bryan Johnson, you've probably heard of him. He's very polarizing. You've seen YouTube videos about him talking about his nighttime erection length, but when you really dig deeper into his message, it's a red herring. It's not about that he's the most tracked man alive, that he measures his dick length, his erection length, that he's rejuvenated his thymus. Fantastic things, and it's really interesting. Side note, it's kind of weird. He gets a lot of hate for that. I think it's pretty badass that he's trying to do this initiative, and he has the money to do it, so he might as well find out what he can do. And he's done a fantastic job. He looks great, I think. I mean, his skin looks kind of weird, but just because it's super smooth, I think. But anyways, the point is, when you dig deep into his message, it's never been about the health markers in measuring his dick length, right? It's about AI. That's his message. Don't die. We need to be alive for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 years. Dumbass fucking fly. Because AI is going to revolutionize health. Think about it like this, right? If you get AGI, well, actually, just think about it like this. You can do image generation right now. Anyone, if they just Google ChatGPT, that's the most common example. You can do image generation that looks nearly perfect, right? With the newest 4.0 update, it's insane. You can create car scratches on a car. You can create a photorealistic image. It'll even get the reflections in the mirrors right. It's scary, and it should be scaring you even more than it is already, right? I've woken up to this the past few weeks, and it's kind of life-changing, I think. I mean, we need to start looking at AI as not just a tool to do our homework, but what it's going to do for us in the future, right? The 5, 10, 15, 50 years. How is it going to revolutionize health? Google's AI, they solve the protein folding problem, which if you do not know already, there are more ways to fold a protein than there are atoms in the entire universe, which is fucking insane when you think about it. And Google's AI apparently has found a way to predictably model that out, which is insane. I don't really know the implications of that, but I'm assuming it's going to be very, very valuable to us. And think about the healthcare industry. Think about health in general, which is what this is about, how it ties into Bryan Johnson. If you're dead, you won't be alive to see this progress, right? Obviously, so we can't die. Don't die. We're going to reach a point with AI where the intelligence and the development is so vast and great that it's solving aging problems for us. It's going to reverse aging. It's going to slow aging. Maybe we'll live forever. Who the fuck knows? Honestly, we can barely predict what's going to happen with these models in 3 months, let alone 6 months, a year, 5, 10 years. Who knows what's going to happen, right? But we do know that we're going to solve these biological problems that have been plaguing society since we've been apes, Essentially, as we're evolving as a species, we're living longer. Maybe 100, 200 years ago, the average lifespan was 30, 40, 50 years, somewhere around there, right? Now we're at 70, 80 years. And the people that take care of their health and have good genetics, they're in the 90, they're in the hundreds. It's insane. So we can predictably model and say, okay, eventually we're going to reach a point where aging is not even a question anymore. We're going to, stay the same biological age in terms of our health of our organs, our skin, our eyes, hair, nails, internal functions, metabolic process, all that stuff, right? So if we can stop aging completely, well, first off, you have to be alive to get there. But the whole point of all this is don't die. That is Bryan Johnson's message. Don't die so you can reach this state where AI has solved these aging and health problems for us. It's not about the erection length. It's not about giving blood or swapping blood with his son and his dad, right? It's not about that. I mean, it's cool, and it's definitely part of the process. And achieving, 100% sleep score, perfect for 8 months, was a part of the process, and it's a step towards improving health and being alive, for this revolution. But again, it's a red herring. So I encourage you, if you're interested, to dig deeper into his message. I found it extremely interesting. And it's inspired me to create my own version of this, my own app. It's called Die Less. Yes, it is an exact copy of his Don't Die. Though I think the words Die Less are kind of It has a different implication than don't die, because don't die is very forward and it's literal in its sense of literally don't die. But die less is kind of accepting, okay, yeah, we're all kind of in this current moment, we are progressing towards death every moment of our day, which another side tangent, we kind of live every moment of our lives every day implicitly expecting to wake up tomorrow. We don't really think about death as a society, as a culture, but death is there, right? And we need to realize, hey, I might not be alive tomorrow. You might not be alive tomorrow. No one really knows what's going to happen, right? So we're going to die less. Now, my framework for this is similar to Bryan Johnson's, right? When it comes to the food aspect, that's what I'm really focusing on, because I think it's the most accessible thing for humans at this point in time. It isn't expensive to eat healthy. You know, you'd be surprised. I mean, these days, I'm sure you've seen it. You go to McDonald's, you can easily spend 12, 13, 15 bucks, you know, to get a meal there. It's insane. You can get plenty of healthy food for a few meals with 15 bucks at, you know, your local grocery store. End of story. There's no question about it. You can. And that is going to improve your health and longevity. But we need to take a step beyond that, right? We need to look at the quality of the food we're consuming. I also think there is another revolution going on this very topic. Look at RFK, right? The health, I forget the exact position, I should know it, right? But he is he holds some position, right, in government for health authority or whatever it is, right? He does this health thing for the country. He's supposed to be the spokesperson, essentially. I mean, you see videos of him going to, Five Guys or going to some burger chain and trying to get the seed oils out of the food. Now listen, RFK is kind of an idiot. The stuff he says is absolutely stupid a lot of the time, and I don't think he's focusing on the right areas. Seed oils, if we're going to be honest, yeah, there's not really much of a concern there. I mean, if you look at the overall overwhelming literature on seed oils, they're not what you should be concerned about, right? That's not to say don't eat them. But the point is, people are waking up to what's in their food. You know, Americans have always been obsessed with health, but now so more than ever, we're focusing on the actual ingredients, the heavy metals, the preservatives, the pesticides, the GMOs, the microplastics, the PFAs, these forever chemicals, right? The things that are in our food, we're learning about them as a general population, and the average person is becoming aware, right? So I'm thinking to myself, you know, Bryan Johnson, his Don't Die program, it's very cool. He has an app for it, but I don't think it's accessible to the average person right now, in terms of the average person is not going to be trying to perfect their sleep score, right? They're not going to be trying to optimize, you know, when they eat for the lowest resting heart rate before they go to bed, and doing this downtime thing and getting all their blood panels measured. And the people that can do that, it's great. But I think we need to make a more accessible version of this, and we start with food. We start with food quality, right? My Die Less idea, my Die Less app, it's an algorithm that is going to process everything you eat. I mean, everything that you provide while you're eating, right? You have honesty, right, is important here. But everything that you log into the app, we're going to process it using AI, and we're going to create a Die Less score for you. It's going to measure the toxicity of the food, right? The pesticides, the heavy metals, PFAs, microplastics, GMOs, pesticides, food dyes, preservatives, all that stuff. We're going to measure the food quality using an algorithm, and we're going to give you a score for that, right? And then we're going to give you a score for your whole week, you know, your day, your meal, and you're going to be able to track, like, what's the quality of the food that I'm eating beyond just the nutrition, right? Because this isn't necessarily about nutrition. This isn't just about the protein you're getting, the types of fat, your carb ratio, your macros, all that shit, right? We need to evolve, and I think we're shifting towards the quality aspect, right? Especially in nutrition, we constantly go through these trends. I think the next trend is going to be the quality of the food. I mean, think about the past few years, the rise of the seed oil. Because the seed oil thing, the anti-seed oil, is kind of a trend, right? I remember years ago seeing it on TikTok start up with, you know, people like Santa Cruz and Paul Saladino, those people, they kind of started it, I think. But we're seeing this slow shift towards quality of the food more than just the macros and tracking your calories. So that's not what this app is about. It's not a calorie tracker, right? We're going to be tracking your overall Die Less food quality score using an algorithm that I'm going to build with AI. And I think it's going to be pretty interesting. You can see some pictures of it right here. Initially, I was thinking it was just going to be a app that you scan the food label, or not the food label, just like the product. You take a picture of it, and I use Apple's text recognition to grab the text from the image. I feed that to an AI. It's going to process it and give you kind of an overview of what you could expect to be in the food, right? So you can see I did Zins here just because it's kind of funny. But initially, it was just going to be this. You just take a picture of the food, and you can get kind of information about it, and you can get research articles from that specific food and the ingredients, so you can kind of understand more of what you're eating. But then I realized, okay, we need to make this a more accessible and reusable thing. So we're going to do it over a day, over a week, over a month, so you can track and get a total score, a total digest score for everything you've ate, right? So then I've created this new dashboard system, which I think is going to be the new direction of the app. And I like this a lot better. The development process is interesting because I'm in college right now. I'm studying industrial engineering. I'm a junior. And man, let me tell you, it is not fun. I do not enjoy it. But when I have something like this develop, I've always made apps or projects or video game cheats, or I just love programming. I love creating things. And having a purpose like this, I can't recommend it enough. Whether that's going to the gym, programming, running, studying, a community, a club you work in, or your job, or having something that you get up in the morning and you're like, shit, man, I'm gonna blast some caffeine and just grind on this, man. That is so empowering. I think that's deep in us. It's purpose, right? It's higher purpose. I have no idea what I'm ranting about right now, but anyways, my point is, this means a lot to me, and it's giving me purpose. And I'm excited for what the future holds. I'm going to try to track my development progress. Never done this before. I've always wanted to start posting on YouTube. But I've always been scared. I don't know why. Like, scared to post on YouTube? I don't know. Right? Just rambling. I've never been much of a presenter, to be honest with you. But I'm going to log my development progress maybe every day, maybe every few days. I don't know. I'm not going to hold myself too accountable, to be honest. But you can come along for this process. If you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. It'd be very interesting. We need to hear from other people. We need different ideas. If I didn't hear from my friend yesterday, I talked about this idea too, then I wouldn't have changed it to this dashboard style where we're doing a rating of your whole week or whole day, right? It was just going to be that one product instance you scan. But, anyways, stay jacked, stay caffeinated, get a purpose, man. Wake up every day and grind on something, man. Genuinely live every day like it's your last. Do something different, man. Talk to people. You gotta wake up, man. Let's get after it.